So from the 27 of the Steelers, Flacco's first throw of the year toward the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Anquan Bolden.
Just what John Harbaugh text to his quarterback Joe Flacco Thursday night when he saw throws by Aaron Rodgers as he
in goal from just inside the 1. And it's Rice, and he's in for the touchdown. Not taking that one back.
What a start for the Ravens. Not only the out of it quick.
Faces 3rd and goal. Got time. Back of the end zone. Open man. Touchdown. Emmanuel Sanders. With a line protected in this time.
Well, sure they did. They protected.
He comes out of the backfield, lined up wide to the left on 3rd and 6. Flacco looks right, now goes left. It's Rice diving for it, and he's through the touchdown. Hit the pylon, and he was able to scamper past Lawrence Timmons.
Playoff game Flacco had with Burke in Pittsburgh.
They fake to Rice. Trying to strike right away to the end zone, and touchdown Ravens! Ed Dixon. He got past Polamalu.
There's the speed of the offense. When you're physical, look at the space Flacco had, and Ed Dixon.
Last week in the game out at San Diego.
Right here. White 20.
It's a first down at the 14. Looks left, goes right, and it is caught. Oh, and he lost the ball at the last minute. It's ruled touchdown on the field. That's Aaron Hernandez.
Ruled touchdown on the field, but it could be, it will be reviewed.
Goes to the sideline. Both of those catches by Floyd coming on 3rd down, and it's Matthews. Matthews to the end zone for the touchdown.
What a drive. What you believe in made the drive. Norv Turner, big receivers, throw it.
Picks up 19. And 1st and goal. He fires it, and it is caught. Gronkowski this time with a flag down.
Well, they got to come up with a different plan. Even though you get good coverage, you give him time, he's going to just throw the football through the defense.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 32, defense. The touchdown is good. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
How about that, a 99-yard drive.
Defenders on it.
They spot it at the 3. 3rd and goal. All kinds of time. Back of the end zone. Touchdown. Vincent Jackson.
That's unbelievable play by Rivers. It is. The protection, give the line credit, but man, to stand there and keep patting those feet and waiting.
The left. Branch to the right. Brady's pass to the end zone, and it is a touchdown. Gronkowski for the 2nd time. This is a perfect example of what Brady told us on Friday. He says you throw it in there, this kid's hands are so big, I feel like he's going to swallow it up every time.
Well, we've seen it twice today, that's for sure.
Remember Kraft, son Jonathan, Leslie Moonves. Gets all kinds of time, goes to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. What a grab by Jackson. One arm catch from 26 yards. It looked like a Patriot defender was standing there thinking, I'm going to make the pick. Jackson comes flat.
Worked. Save it until you need it.
Reaching out, and Green Elvis has it, and he's taken off to the end zone. Well, they came in here having won 9 consecutive regular season games. The last team to beat them in the regular season, Cleveland. In all 9 of those games, they were over 30 points. And they're a minute.
Target, he is perfect to throw seam passes down the field to. Nice design by Hugh Jackson.
His first catch as a Raider sets him up at the 2. Gain of 28. McFadden outside and in for the touchdown.
That'll keep them cheering for a while. McFadden.
25 career touchdowns, almost had his 26th. But it's 2nd and goal. Sanchez still has it, and it's wide open territory. Has to dive as they close in on the end, and it's a touchdown.
Well, it looked wide open, didn't it? And then you got to get in the end zone and protect. You can go to the playoffs and have an effect in it.
They got Derek Mason wide to the right. 2nd down and 8. Sanchez. Tomlinson, touchdown, New York Jets.
That's it. It's all about matchups in the NFL. Plexico Burst runs to the inside. LaDainian Tomlinson on Quentin Groves, brought into the NFL to be a defensive lineman, now a line.
2nd and a yard to go, inside 4. Sprinting to the outside, McFadden. Good block up ahead. McFadden cuts back. McFadden's taken off all the way for the touchdown. The longest run of his career, 70 yards. And there were some blocks. Bush is in the backfield. First down, Raiders at the 23. Another little trickery here. And that's Moore taken off. Inside the 10, and did he get across? Yes! Touchdown, Oakland. How about those back-to-back calls? Look at a halfback option.
Correct decision, but it was an aggressive decision, and he paid for it.
They have it, 1st and goal, with Bush, the tailback, out of the eye, and they'll go with Michael Bush straight ahead. Touchdown, Oakland.
The difference today is, Jim, the Oakland Raiders have made the adjustments. They got fooled early, but they haven't been fooled since mid-2nd quarter.
3rd and a yard to the end zone, and the catch is made. Touchdown, it's ruled, even though at the end the ball came out back of the end zone. That's Burris out battling Chekwa. 16-yard score.
Well, that's what they hoped they could do today, even though acts a whole different way in practice, Jim, as we were told.
That's all they talk about when you bring up Starks around here is the swagger, the confidence from rookie year to the next. All kinds of room for Rodgers to throw, and it's caught for a touchdown by Jordy Nelson. 50 yards.
Pass is to run back and get underneath the weak side receiver, but the fake was good enough, he couldn't make it.
3rd and 4, and Fells is back into the game for the Broncos, and an interception. Look out! It's Woodson taking it home for the touchdown. Charles Woodson runs it back for another pick six in his career.
What we say, you have to be careful throwing the football to the sticks. I think Denver has a tendency to do that. Of course, the Green Bay Packers knew it, and they are...
Seventh different receiver to catch a Rodgers pass in this game. And a first down, run by Rodgers, up the middle and in for the touchdown. And he gets to enjoy a Lambeau leap of his own.
Donald Driver's down in the end zone.
The 5. Yeah, heck of a job there by Moreno. He set that up as well as I've ever seen. Orton throws, got his target, and has a touchdown to Decker. Eric Decker from 5 yards out already with his 4th touchdown of the year, 1 on a punt return, and now 3 via... You saw Mike McCoy, offensive coordinator who was on the Green Bay practice squad as a quarterback back in 1995. And second down and 6. Orton has good time, and he's going to Decker. What a catch! He turns around and makes the catch for a touchdown. 33 yards.
That was a good job by Kyle Orton, just looking down the field. It was man coverage, and he didn't panic.
A difference maker in this game already with his interception return for a touchdown. Coming out of a Green Bay timeout, they're left with 1. Rodgers to Jennings, and a Green Bay touchdown.
You just can't let these guys run off the line of scrimmage free every time. And Aaron Rodgers had multiple ways to throw a touchdown that time. He goes to the surest hand guy on his football team, Greg Jennings.
This looked like what we saw in practice on Friday.
It did. It
just
was
running up and down the field, tossing it around, all kinds of options, as you said. Field trying to do the double you talked about, scoring with seconds to go in the first half. Coming out, receiving the second half kickoff. Second and goal, and Rodgers inside the 5 and down to the 1. He wants the touchdown, and they say no.
It could be. If it looks like it's a touchdown and we see a replay with Mike McCoy, he answered it for him down at the end, and it just changed everything about him as a player this year.
Confident. They fake to him inside, and they go to the end zone, and another touchdown, Green Bay. James Jones this time gets in on the action. Boy, did Rodgers toss that one perfectly.
I wonder if anybody in our studio, they had a talk today, and they were saying, is Aaron Rodgers the best quarterback in football right now? Well, from the physical standpoint, there's a lot to the game, of course. But the throws, ball now in the NFL.
They can get a first at the 3. Third down. And Rodgers, that is caught for a touchdown. Who else but Donald Driver?
That's pretty special.
That is. You know, I'm sitting there watching him with that injury and thinking, you know what, he's 13 years in the league, and if this is a serious injury, you may never see him again. Ever.
You're right.
All-time receiver in Packer history, by yardage, by catches. Comes back out in the second half, the crowd roars when they see him.
How about his career, though, Jim? He catches from Brett Favre, then he gets Aaron Rodgers. And he gets 2 of the all-time greatest flamethrowers. That if he's open, that was a
course.
Sure.
3:07 to go. They blanked the Broncos in the second half to this point. And Orton tiptoes and throws, has the touchdown. Goes to Daniel Fells, who was hurt earlier in this half and also coughed up the football. First quarter, he's actually injured.
Yeah, he came back. That was just an excellent job by Kyle Wharton. Understanding the rush, the situation. Tough to bring him down with your arms. Look out for direct snaps down here to the running back.
3 straight 8-yard runs. And now on 2nd and 2, you get a first at the 1. They run him again with Green Ellis. And he carries Boo-How with him. Touchdown, New England.
Well, the Jets won.
Mark it at the 3, 2nd and goal.
I would always be alert for a quarterback draw.
It's Green. Up ahead and in. Touchdown, New York Jets.
Man, that was a pretty impressive drive by the Jets. The offensive line. Talking about getting their leader back.
Calling out Alabama. Open. Touchdown. Deion Branch. Brady had enough time for things to open up.
That's what it is. Tom Brady was looking to his right the whole time. And they time it up beautifully. If nobody...
Green with a season-high 60 yards now. And Mangold looks good in his return. 1st and goal. Fake to LT, roll out, look end zone, throw, catch is made, touchdown. It's the rookie Jeremy Curley with his first NFL touchdown reception.
And this is what play to the strength of your team. Run the football, move your quarterback around a little. He's a tremendous play-action quarterback and just waits for a receiver to beat the defender.
Now 2nd and goal. Green Ellis in for the touchdown. His 2nd of the day. Matt Light helped free him. Of course, it needed to be productive. 3rd and 7.
You got to think blitz just by watching the defensive backs, how they're lined up.
Touchdown, New York. Santonio Holmes. He beats Kyle Arrington.
Boy, nice throw, hanging in there. What protection. What a difference. I know the team is different. It's not the Baltimore Ravens defense. Be careful. He jerks his hands around a lot.
On 1st and goal, walking in is Bradshaw for the touchdown.
Well, all we heard, but it's early. Hey.
2nd drive of the game for the Bills. And there goes Freddie Jackson taking off. Foot race inside the 20. Cuts back. What a move to escape the last giant. Touchdown, Fred Jackson. 80 yards.
That move said it all about Fred Jackson. Everybody in Buffalo says it's uncanny how he always knows.
3rd down and 6. And they pick it up again. Nifty move made. It's Roosevelt taking off. Roosevelt is in for the touchdown. Naaman Roosevelt, homegrown talent, takes it 60 yards for Buffalo. Bradshaw back in there. Trying to score for the 2nd time, and he's pulled back. Oh, it's a touchdown. Troop had a hold of him. It's Bradshaw, and he's up and over. Touchdown, New York.
Let's something we haven't seen much of the NFL this year is the running backs where...
In 6. You can pick up the first down at the 3. They've had the football for almost 7 minutes. Fitzpatrick to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stevie Johnson.
Really, really good throw, but the route by Stevie Johnson gets it done. It was
3 straight plays. Sanchez looking down. The field goes short underneath instead. And a bobbling catch it is by Keller. And the ball ends up in the hands of San Diego. And returned all the way for a touchdown by Donald Butler. I'm not sure that Keller ever had a clean hold on it. Gates is in tight on the right side. Rivers. End zone. Gates. Touchdown, San Diego. Right over Josh Monga.
There was a confusion. Look.
So now 3rd and goal. Back to the gun. Sanchez. Burris. Touchdown. New York Jets. On Tolbert, who's the lone back on 3rd and goal. Tolbert for the 3rd straight play, and this time he is in for the touchdown.
Jim, I think you said it right. He just gets
2nd and goal. To Burris. Another touchdown for Plexico. Ryan Schottenheimer salutes Green as he comes to the sideline. He did a lot of the work looking for the first lead of the afternoon. They clear out McKnight, clear out the backfield. 3rd and goal. Sanchez looks left, goes middle, back to the end zone, and it's Burris, and he has the triple. To the left side.
3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. He makes a decision before the snap which side he is going to go to, of course. I would say he should go right. No, it's a blitz.
Looks left, throws left, and the tackle near the goal line. What an effort. Touchdown, Noeldi Moore. He took a hit outside the goal line and then drove across for the touchdown.
Really clever play. And why he went left that time, Ben Roethlisberger.
Through the years.
Yep, always be alert when he's close to the quarterback. It could be a direct snap, not this time though.
On 2nd and goal to the end zone, caught by Branch, touchdown. Deion Branch.
That's something you say a lot here in the past. New England's defense turned it around for him.
We've been so dangerous in this half on 3rd down.
Always got to watch the quarterback.
3rd and 4. And Roethlisberger has an open target. It's Brown. And he's across for the touchdown. Antonio Brown. 7-yard score.
And the 2-minute warning if they score where they'd have a chance of getting it back.
With pressure, the pass is caught by Hernandez for the touchdown.
And of course, that, Jim, you just go back to that penalty. If Monday is not holding Gronkowski, he's going to run under that football for the touchdown.
The drive down the field after the missed field goal in 3 minutes, 38 seconds. Tomlinson, leaping, scoring, touchdown New York. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well, that's an easy way to do it. Hard to score. Pass completion, knock it down. That's about all that can happen.
The fake to Green, to the end zone, and Holmes has it. Santonio Holmes with the touchdown. And they went right back at McKelvin again after the pass interference on the previous play.
Maybe they look cleaner to Mark Sanchez than it did to us sitting up here in the booth. But you're dominating the game. That was a terrific catch by Santonio Holmes. Because there was a crowd. If that is not caught cleanly, that's up in the air. Looked like about 4 Buffalo defenders converging.
Oh, look at this. Who gets in the act? And Rex. Get a little hang time. We saw him before the game out there, like, testing DeVito.
And blocked that time to give Mark Sanchez the time.
Well, Tomlinson has already scored once from the 1. And inside did Connor. Standing up. John Connor.
John Connor had a good day today, too. Some good blocks, leading. I'm expecting the...
Second down pass to Nelson, and he's in for the touchdown. It's the same play that worked on a 4th down occasion earlier in the season to beat the Raiders. One of the Bills' big...
Downfield throwing, they did it last week. One of the big reasons why the Cowboys won the game, of course. Help from the quarterback is healthy.
Going to throw here on 1st down for the long ball. Down the sideline, and what a catch! That's Dez Bryant who takes it away from McKelvin for the Cowboys touchdown. 34 yards, Dez Bryant hauls it in.
The pocket, getting around the quarterback.
12th play of the drive coming up for Dallas.
Jason Stay, tight end staying in block. He's expecting blitz.
Romo spins away from the hit, throws to the end zone, and he's got his man for the touchdown. It's Robinson getting the start today for Austin.
What a play by...
All right, the Cowboys lead at 14-0, take over at the 42 after the missed field goal. Romo steps up, goes for the deep ball, man is there, it's Robinson in stride, and touchdown Dallas! 58 yards to LeRon Robinson. Cowboys look confused.
Running backs deep.
Fitzpatrick has the touchdown pass to David Nelson. Well, you could see the Cowboys before the snap, they were all pointing around, and then they had a couple of last-second substitutions on the field. It never looked like they knew exactly what they were set to do. And Nelson's taken off.
Taking a victory lap.
That's his girlfriend. He probably read the stories this week.
She's going, oh, yeah, thanks. That was a good call.
So 1st and goal to go. Minute 9 to go, first half. It's Murray, and Murray is in for the touchdown. The 2nd touchdown of the season. He ran behind Fiametta.
Fiametta, very good role. Coach it up. He knows how to X and O it. and he knows how to connect with players. Jim, we talked to Demaryius Ware, couldn't say enough about him. Teaches you a lot of stuff about the game that you didn't know.
Finally started drive from outside the road, 20, and it's intercepted, and it's Newman for the second time, and Newman's going to take it home for the touchdown. Terrence Newman.
The Bears wanted the challenge. It wasn't inside of 2 minutes. It was not fourth down.
3rd and goal. Barber. Near it. Got it. Touchdown, Chicago.
I was getting ready.
The quarterback Rivers. 3rd and goal from the 8. Rivers, end zone, touchdown, San Diego, Antonio Gates.
I'll say this, good job by Antonio Gates. Of course, the quarterback, Phillip Rivers, the offense.
Apparent knee injury. Another Klutz will be filling in for him. 3rd and goal. And zipping in for a touchdown. That was Cover firing it in there to Davis for the score. 4-yard completion to Kellen Davis. End zone, Jackson, touchdown, San Diego. Was in front of Charles Tillman for the 5-yard touchdown grab, Vincent Jackson.
Last week, Charles Tillman, Tim Jennings.
Barber in the backfield. So tough to stop. Lance Cutler up and over, and he's got the touchdown. Cutler with the keeper and the score.
You know, you look back what the Bears talk about. We don't talk about getting the, it's, are we making the attempts to try to strip, to do what we do, or we can do to get the turnovers.
And Cutler fires it to the end zone, and caught by Knox with a feet in. Yes, they rule on the field. Touchdown, Chicago.
That was unbelievable.
At the 4-yard line with 1 minute and 1 second. 3 tight ends, Murray the running back. Fake to Murray, across the middle, and it is Robinson with the touchdown. LeRon Robinson, 5 straight games with a touchdown.
Little change up by the Cowboys offense. Instead of faking it and looking over the middle, with the receiver coming from the right side, it comes from the back, from the left. The defense not the second half.
They've got a 2nd and 9 at the Dallas 35. And again, it's a deep ball. It's Marshall, and Marshall has the catch and the touchdown. Remember, they overcame 3rd and 13. On this drive, 40 play.
And just think if that was you or me, Jim, we'd be
injured. 1st and 10.
Away.
And Romo thought about running with it. Now fires it in zone, and it is caught. What a catch! It's Robinson for the 2nd time today in the end zone.
I'm not kidding you. That's one of the best drives a quarterback up front.
Mendenhall back in on 2nd and goal, and he gets the call. Mendenhall's in for the touchdown. He scored twice against the Bengals in the first matchup. He's got another one here from 3 yards out.
Well, it's a pushing contest inside right now as you watch this Steeler offense, and And that offensive line is winning the battle, Jim, as you watch it inside. That's about 3 or 4 times we've seen just a mush. Everybody gets together. The Steelers move the pile forward, and they're getting some good little runs out of it.
Mendenhall's 7th touchdown of the season. Now 3 around.
They're going to make you think, that's for sure, on the defensive side.
2nd and goal. And it is Mendenhall. Mendenhall cuts back for the touchdown. Mendenhall got away from Maualuga, and he has his 2nd touchdown of the game.
It's a fast defense, the Bengals. Sometimes they over-pursue. And this is an example. They got
the one who fumbled it, set up the Steelers with a chance to go in again. Roethlisberger rolls out, close to the end zone, hangs his man, touchdown Pittsburgh, Mike Wallace. Three touchdowns in a 4-minute and 14
innings going along, Jim. He's sneaking up there more and more because that's where he's at his best, when he's near the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 8, and Dalton looks end zone bound, and he's got his man there. Touchdown! Touchdown, A.J. Green. 11-yard connection between the two rookies.
What an adjustment by A.J. Green.
Antonio Brown is near midfield. No pressure put on the punter, who sends a spiral to the 40-yard line, and a little stutter step move, and Brown's got room outside. He's got the punter in front of him, and Brown's going to get right past him, and Brown's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. "60 yards, and Bryant McFadden helped make it happen." He came in 4th in the AFC in punt return yardage, or average. His first career punt return touchdown. Scoreless 3rd quarter. All the scoring came in the 2nd.
They blitzed this formation a couple weeks ago. 5 wide receivers. They do it again.
Wallace gets the block. Wallace slash middle. Wallace to the 5. And Wallace is in for the touchdown. What a move by Mike Wallace. yards and not to be denied.
We are seeing the playmakers for the about this week.
That risk-reward pass defense of the Packers, their league-leading 24th pick of the season. 6 more than anyone else in the league. If they go to Grant, Grant has running room. Grant inside the 30, Grant inside the 10, and he's got the touchdown. Ryan Grant had not had a run of 10 yards or longer since September. And he takes it here 47 yards. And the score.
They do a lot of that. They look to the right. The receiver, if he doesn't like it, he turns and throws all the way to the other side of the field.
4 tight ends in the game at once. Nelson lined up to the left. Rodgers looked his way, then throws across the middle. He's got the touchdown. It's Ryan Taylor with his first career catch. And it's good for a touchdown. On this series, hurry up to the line, and Rodgers, the one for Nelson on the long ball, and he has it! Touchdown, Green Bay!
Unbelievable. When it's a penalty, Aaron Rodgers, no matter what, throws it deep down the field.
He's just tied the Favre single-season record touchdown passes in 1 year. That was number 39. There is a flag.
12 men on the field on defense. Penalties applied. Multiple plays.
Now that hurry-up offense, Jim, that's what did it to the Raiders. They're hustling to the line of scrimmage. The Raiders couldn't even get the guys on and off the field. You know what's coming. You've already seen it today. Chuck Bresnahan, you got to be careful about substitutions. He knew that. He knew it could be a problem, and it was on that long touchdown throw.
It's the 6th home game of the year for Green Bay, and
He lets them be free and go.
2nd and goal, and Grant is in for another touchdown. His 2nd of the day from 6 yards out.
Well, it's tough. So many ways.
Try to put points on the board for the first time. 2nd and goal. Bush motions back into the backfield, takes the handoff, and he's in for the touchdown. Michael Bush from 2 yards away.
It's 3 hard games. Shoot, well, you hear me say it. It's hard to win one in this league.
Get underneath, ball's out. Palmer falls on it. No, he did not recover it. Picked up by the Packers, and they have a touchdown. Eric Walden with the recovery and the score. And the Raiders are going to say, wait a minute, did Reese, did he make a move? Did he have the catch? And Tebow next week on CBS. 2nd and goal, and Palmer. The boss, touchdown, Oakland.
Well, what a nice job by Carson Palmer, just staying in the pocket, not panicking. The
was at Kansas City. Ready to do so again. Here against New England. 2nd and 5. Tebow still has it. Breaks the tackle. Still taking up, and he's in for the touchdown. They had it for a loss, and Tebow takes it home for the score. He broke away from Rob Ninkovich, who had him for about a 2 or 3 yard loss. You've been saying all week to me, Phil, it's like here. 2nd down and 10. From the gun, Brady goes down the field, man's wide open, and it's caught for a touchdown, and it's Ocho Cinco. Flag.
Illegal hands to the face. Defense number 92 is declaring the score is good.
The first touchdown of his Patriot career, Ocho Cinco.
I think we were throwing lane for the quarterback and receivers.
Now operating at the New England 32. Nice Lance ball, untouched to the 20, outside 10. Palmer's in for the touchdown. Huge set of blocks by Daniel Fells and Eddie Royal, and it's 32 yards. Replaced by Connolly. Play action, Brady throws. He's got his man, touchdown New England. It's Aaron Hernandez. One-yard touchdown.
Usually picks it up. Today, that's Hernandez.
2nd and goal. 1 yard away. Brady keeps. And with a touchdown.
Hey,
a little aggression in that spot.
Tom Brady throwing a lot of passes a game. They find their rhythm every time and start blocking it.
2nd and 6, Woodhead. Woodhead takes off, and he's in for the touchdown. Running behind Logan Mankins. And Ryan Wendell.
Well, you said it right. Got to play quarterback run first in this situation if you're a defensive lineman.
Tebow. Still driving, touchdown. His second of the day.
Inside run.
Gonna hand it off. But got the touchdown with Green Ellis.
And that's where you go. You go off tackle. And Tom Brady, I'll tell you, just little
tackle after missing one snap to injury. First third down situation.
little power by the quarterback.
Tebow looks. Cuts in, and the ball's out. Fallen on by a Bronco, and it's single touchdown. Clady fell on it, but I think the touchdown was already earned by Tebow. This is a big punt by Colquitt. McKelvin has it at the 20. Looking for another big return like he had earlier, and he's got all kinds of room. Colquitt up ahead. He is blocked, but Colquitt tries to push him out, and they say he is not out of bounds. Touchdown. Touchdown, McKelvin. 80 yards.
How about the return game today for the Buffalo Bills? You still have the timeouts, 2 of them left.
So second and goal from the 4. And they run it. Spiller. He's got a lane, and he's in for the touchdown.
I don't know. They could have been a check by Ryan Fitzpatrick. But you got to think it's a run because the quarterback, the running back Spiller, is so deep, it makes you think he's going to come across the formation. When the running back is deeper than the quarterback, it's a high alert. Don't let him get out there.
On first down, Tebow to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Broncos. Daniel Fells.
Well, it's
Long road to travel from the 10-yard line.
4 receivers to the left. Big screen play. Nope, not this time.
Tebow's pass is intercepted. Bird has it. Bird with the play. Bird weaving his way inside the 20, down the sideline, and in for the touchdown. Jarvis Bird picks off Tebow and returns it for the touchdown.
To all these things, always.
Okay, tell me who's the 6th team. Who's going to win the Rust as well?
You got to tell me.
Kelsey in on Tebow. Ball is out. Bills have it. Bills running to the end zone with Spencer Johnson. It was Kelsey who knocked it out. Johnson, who was there to take it all the way back for the touchdown.
Well, there's so many things. The interior defensive lineman stopping the run today.
Another first down. Here it is, McCluster. No one's touched him yet at the 10, at the 5. McCluster's in for the touchdown.
That looked almost exactly like the play that we saw last week when
Denver reporting to us that we will not see Decker again in this game with a knee injury. From the locker room, 2nd and 9. And Tebow going to the end zone, and the ball is caught by Eddie Royal. Was he in? Yes! Touchdown Broncos! There's a Steeler down, Brett Keith, in the first 15 minutes.
always have to be alert for quarterback runs inside the 10.
2nd and 6. Tebow, there he is, taking off Phil. He's got the first down, he's got the touchdown! Tim Tebow takes it across, and the Broncos have a 2nd touchdown of the quarter. Just as you called it, Phil. Tebow, that was the play call all along, and running behind Zane Beadles and Orlando Franklin. 8 yards and a touchdown. It's Wallace taking it around the right side for the touchdown.
Some drive by the Steelers.
Down and 10. Got the time. Now runs out of the pocket, goes to the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. Jericho Cotchery able to hold on to it from 31 yards out. And a squeeze him extra point away from a tie.
Boy, how about that? Jericho Cotchery, we've heard so much about him. Ben Roethlisberger again, the 3-man rush. The extra time, he stood there in the pocket. It wasn't there. Then he moves out. And what a tough catch down the field, Jim. Cotchery. We've heard Mike Tomlin talk about him a lot.
That was some catch by Cotchery. And here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all.
Got him.
Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him free to the 30. To the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. The new rules. You got to score 6 on the first possession to close it out.
They just didn't expect it to be to the tight end.
And they hurry to the line on 1st and goal. And Brady with time, end zone. Yes! Touchdown New England in less than 2 minutes. It's Welker with the catch.
Shoot, the fans haven't had a chance to sit down and get into the game. But this is how they looked on Friday. Hard to find him, too.
They line up Hernandez in the backfield again, 2nd down and 3. Brady back to the end zone, and did he pull it in? Gronkowski says yes, and the official agrees. Touchdown, New England. Andre Goodman shakes his head, wondering how did he...
Inside the 10, let's play run all the way. Make him throw it in to score.
He likes the quarterback draw. He's going to hand it off up the middle, and McGahee drives it across. Touchdown, Denver. Right up the gut, 5 yards for the touchdown. And flags are thrown.
Well, I would think Zane Beadles will be in the middle of it.
4 down. 4 down.
Woodhead is the running back, flanking Brady.
Read it. Read it.
Across the middle, caught. Gronkowski in, touchdown, New England. The first time we talked to Brady about Gronkowski, he said, you would not believe this guy's mitts. His hands are huge. And again, ever in one season, most touchdowns by a mile. 17 touchdown receptions, 1 on the ground. Brady now goes down the field for the long ball. Branch has it in stride. Deion Branch is in for the touchdown. 61 yards.
I'll tell you, that was the throw of the year for Tom Brady. You're talking about getting every bit of it. An option quarterback in college.
Yep, Kent State. He played the role with Tebow in the scout team, preparing for this one. Brady's got it! Touchdown and an NFL record in the postseason for the quarterback. Gronkowski for the 3rd time tonight.
Another zone defense. Even though that time Tom Brady gets hit,
And Brady has Hernandez. What a move, and he's in for the touchdown. And Tom Brady has just tied the all-time postseason full game record with 6 touchdown passes. He ties Darryl LaMonica of the Raiders back in a 1969 divisional playoff game, and Steve Young in Super Bowl 29 with 6 touchdown throws.
That was another laser shot right between the defense, just the way we saw it, and of course them trying to avoid the hit.
First and goal. Ball just inside the 8. Queen Ellis, helmet back on, take it off, and into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's what you do. Down inside, you try to run the ball in against this defense. They are playing pass all the way.
Running behind Logan Mankins. 2000 Super Bowl, 2001 February down in Tampa. Here we go, second and goal. As Flacco, first option's not there, throws on the run, and he's got his man for the touchdown. It's Dennis Pitta with the catch.
That was the only way Joe Flacco was going to get the punishment.
Third down and 3. They've hit 5 of their last 7 third down occasions. Here's the blitz. Pass caught by Smith. Great job spinning away inside the 20. Smith to the 10. And tries to reach for the pylon. No signal yet. Touchdown. Broke away from Sterling Moore. It takes it to 29 yards for the touchdown, and the Ravens are an extra 4th and goal. Brady up and over, and touchdown, New England.
When you're this close to the goal line, when you run the sneak,